Started with nothing and came out a king. I've been the one that's been ballin' for rings. It's been me and my team and we chasing the green. My team be the shit, we ain't ballin' for free. I started with nothing and came out a king. I've been the one that's been ballin' for rings. It's been me and my team and we chasing the green. My team be the shit, we ain't ballin' for free. My team be the shit, we ain't ballin' for free.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the DB podcast. We are your hosts, Emilio Salamander. We got KB the Mark.
Cause I'm a fucking mark for this shit.
Now, this is week 3 of 52 weeks in this year of wrestling. They was off to a good start for the first 2 weeks, I would say. But this week, I think they kind of dibble back a little bit. You're not talking about AEW. AEW don't produce bullshit that the WWE do. But let's go ahead and get into this week of wrestling.
Yeah, before we start, I do just want to agree with you. And I'm actually going to say from AEW, these past 3 weeks, or I would say the previous 2 weeks for AEW haven't really been the best. It's been missable. And that could just be due to, your more main event stars not being out. So you're building up new stars. You just got done with the tremendous Hangman and Bryan Danielson program. So now you're in the filler. You're just doing filler until you can get to the pay-per-view Revolution in March. So AEW's been down the past 2 weeks as well. They really picked it up this week. WWE, on the other hand, dropped the ball. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Monday Night Raw, we had a Becky Lynch opening promo. It's every Becky Lynch opening promo. She proclaims to be the GOAT. She then hypes up her match with Doudrop, saying that she got Doudrop the opportunity. Doudrop came out and said that she earned it. It then led to Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan coming out, which led to the first match of the night, which was Becky Lynch and Doudrop versus Bianca Belair and Liv Morgan. I thought the match was okay. Didn't like the ending. The ending where Doudrop, I want to say she kind of made the save, but didn't make the save. So she hit a splash on Becky Lynch, tagged herself in, and got the pinfall victory. Then, like I said, the match was okay. Nothing really to sweat at. Edge, Becky.
You missed an important part about the opening. Raw have not changed in 20 years. Same shit. Raw always open up with a fucking promo. Same shit. And it's the same story. Can they coexist? I don't give a fuck. And all that. It's bull. It's the same thing. Come out, cut a promo, get interrupted. That person is going back and forth with Becky Lynch. Somebody else come out, interrupt, and then tag that up. It's irrelevant. To me, we all know Becky Lynch is going to win at Royal Rumble, but I personally think this is going to be a challenge for her. I think this, out of her title reign, I think this is a big challenge to her, just because of her opponent. Out of all the opponents that she's faced so far, just because it's Doudrop. So she can use her size to an advantage, but it's not going to mean nothing because we all know Becky Lynch is going to take it. It's the same thing. Her promos is good. You seen one Becky Lynch promo, you seen them all. It's good. She buried her talent on the mic, burying them in the ring. And it just shows you WWE has nobody that could take that next step to take the belt off of her. They're not currently building any women.
Definitely agree.
They don't know what to do without Lacey Evans, without Sasha Banks, without Bayley. They are lost right now. Where the fuck is Shayna Baszler?
She's on SmackDown, not doing nothing.
Right.
You done? Okay. Just want to make sure you got it all out. Next up, we had a Edge, Beth Phoenix, Reggie, Dana Brooke, Damian Priest segment backstage. This was a clusterfuck of a segment. Beth Phoenix put over Dana Brooke for being a 24/7 champion. Who would have thought? Dana Brooke being put over as the 24/7 champion by Hall of Famer Beth Phoenix. God fucking awful this segment was. Edge told Reggie that he had no chance at going against Omos. Beth Phoenix got a note saying that Maurice wanted to talk to her woman to woman. Edge says, no, I'll come out there anyway because you know how they are. Next up, we have the Kevin Owens show, whose special guest is Seth Rollins, who hyped up being in Roman Reigns' head, said he's going to win the Universal title, bring it back to Monday Night Raw. Kevin Owens declared for the Royal Rumble and said it would be him versus Seth Rollins for the Universal title at WrestleMania.
I would like to see that.
I was going to say that actually sounds very fire, especially if you follow the friendship, the celebration of friendship recipe with Chris Jericho. Yeah, that sounds like a fire main event. You get what should have happened with Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens. Now you get it with Seth Rollins.
I could kind of see them like I said last week. Depending on what match go first, really depends on who's gonna win. If they put Brock and Bobby first, then I really believe Bobby's gonna win. But if they put Roman and Steph first, Steph is gonna win. If Steph wins, I can see him winning and holding to Mania and dropping it to Kevin Owens.
I like that. That sounds like, to me, that's the main event. If you want to go Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, to me, that's going to have a greater storyline impact than Roman and Brock.
It's about time for Kevin Owens to have his WrestleMania moment. It's the only thing he actually had one. I mean, he been part of WrestleManias, and it been like for like the mid card titles and stuff like that. It's just mid card programs. But for a main event program, this is perfect for Kevin Owens, and I would love to see Kevin Owens get pushed into that spotlight. Like when he was doing that American gimmick, that was perfect, but they didn't capitalize on it better. They could have. He should have been world champion with that gimmick.
Well, you know, he had just came off of dropping the Universal title to Goldberg, and this is the time to give Kevin Owens all the due, because you robbed him of his first Universal title run by putting it on Goldberg because you wanted Brock and Goldberg for the title. So now you can pay him back for keeping him in the mid card and not touching a championship, since he lost the United States Championship to AJ Styles.
He ever had a world title since like 2016, I believe.
Yeah, that was the last time he was any type of champion, was 2017 or 2016, 2017. He lost that belt to AJ.
Yeah, it's his time now. It's time for Kevin Owens to get that.
It's definitely time.
Especially he resigned, man. Yeah, get him that push he deserves. Man.
If this is the pick for the Royal Rumble, if this is who they're picking to win, this will be a huge 2 thumbs up for me for WWE.
Right. This could be the most successful thing they did in like 4 years.
Right. Damian Priest interrupts the Kevin Owens show to announce that his match with Kevin Owens is going to take place now. Damian Priest also told Seth Rollins that nobody believes that he can beat Roman Reigns, which I'm okay with the babyface saying that, but if WWE is being realistic, a lot of people are going in here with the thought that Roman Reigns is walking out.
Yeah, they're gonna swear. Like, I really think the majority is thinking Roman is gonna hold the title to Mania, but I'm going with the ultimate swerve. Like I said, it really depends on what match they're gonna put first this Saturday. If they decide to go with Roman first. If we already know Roman, he already said if he's not gonna be in the main event, he's going first. So they decide not to run Roman and Seth at the main event of the Royal Rumble, then he's dropping the title off rip. We already know.
Yeah, you know, like I said, most people are walking in with the thought that Roman's walking out. I'm actually like you. I'm thinking the exact opposite. I'm picking the swerve, because storyline. I get it. Like, a lot of people are not going to be happy about the direction of Roman Reigns losing it. But like I said before to you, and I believe I've said it on here, even though I won't agree with it, when you look back at the history, Seth Rollins is the perfect guy. And it's not going to have that big of a storyline. But Roman Reigns is 0-2 against Seth Rollins. And like we'll discuss later on, his past is catching up to haunting. And that's what I love about WWE this week, especially in the Roman Reigns storyline, which we'll talk about later on. But you see it going full circle.
Yeah.
And this would be the perfect time for the belt to come off of him. And with, like I said, not without the best of storylines, but the history there, 0-2, you're not winning. And that's okay, because the bigger match is Roman and Brock. But the Damian Priest versus Kevin Owens match, I thought this match was 2 thumbs up good. Kevin Owens faked the injury at the end, got the win on the United States champion. Of course, I don't like champions losing on TV, but I do think it's time that we move Damian Priest up to that main event, and we give Kevin Owens some type of championship on his way to WrestleMania, or he can win the Royal Rumble and then lose that United States Championship match to Damian Priest. So either way they want to do it, I feel like Kevin Owens is going to have some gold in the near future.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, even though Damian Priest picked up the loss, before he was doing that open challenge thing, but I think, I don't like champions losing, but in this case, it was good. But I like the way that it looked like Kevin Owens is going towards getting a semi push. Then on top of that, one thing that I'm gonna criticize WWE on is the fact that I think Damian Priest, since he came to Raw, he's been undefeated in singles competition. He's lost in triple threats, tag matches, and handicap matches, but single one-on-one, this is first loss, and I think they should have capitalized on that more and brought attention to that more, just to highlight the fact that Damian Priest was on a tear, and then you could have, that could have been a push right there just to get him over more.
No, I agree. Let's see. We had a Nikki Ash interview. She blamed Rhea Ripley. Nothing out of the norm. Then we had Alpha Academy graduation segment. I thought this was fantastic. Otis was graduating from the Alpha Academy after winning the Raw Tag Team Championships. It was interrupted by Matt Riddle. Randy Orton came out at the end and gave Chad Gable an RKO. I liked this, and I liked it a lot, but I wish this would have been a lead up to the Alpha Academy taking the Raw Tag Team titles.
Yeah. Like we already said last week, they pushed this too soon. Even though we already know it's gonna be a rematch at the Royal Rumble, but it should have been, this match should have happened at the Royal Rumble. Then they could have did, like you said, they could have did this week. Boom, Royal Rumble happened. They could have took the titles off of them, and then that would have been it. But instead, they decided to capitalize on it sooner, so we just gonna see what WWE do right after this.
Right. Next up, we have my favorite segment of the night: Austin Theory versus Vince McMahon. Vinnie Mac was talking to Austin Theory, and Austin Theory. I think Austin Theory is a main event player. A lot of people might not agree. I definitely think he is. He was looking at his loss to Finn Balor, and Vince McMahon said, "You lost," but he said, "I attacked him after the match, so that's like a half victory." Vince McMahon said, "There are no half victories." He then told Austin Theory he better beat Finn Balor, because if he doesn't, he's going to beat him up, break every bone in his body, and then take a selfie of him and Austin Theory and send it to Austin Theory's mom. Vince McMahon continues to be the best thing on Monday Night Raw.
The best thing on Monday Night Raw, but not the best thing for Monday Night Raw.
Right.
I would say that. But it also just shows you that Vince McMahon is really behind Austin Theory too, so that's a good thing too. Anybody that Vince McMahon really attached himself to, they really capitalize off of that. Except for, Drew McIntyre.
Roman Reigns.
The first round, I would say.
Roman Reigns.
That Roman Reigns character was good though.
It was good, but I'm talking
getting pushed too much for us. But I mean, even though it was getting pushed too much, I still like that character though.
No, I know. I like the character too, but what I mean is when he had the angle with Vince and the authority, they didn't really capitalize off of it, and the fans still didn't gravitate towards him. Like, it was cool in the moment, but nothing really happened. He never hit the peaks of where he's at now as that character, especially after that angle. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Next up, we had Austin Theory versus Finn Balor. This was a quick match. Austin Theory got the win. I don't like what they're doing with Finn Balor. I'll leave it there.
I'm gonna give this a thumbs down just for the simple fact is, why Finn? Like, he is fucking great, but WWE do not see his great.
Nope.
And it just shows you, like, I don't like the aspect of it being showed that basically Ben can't hang on the main roster, because when he was on NXT, he was doing great. Went to the main roster, they didn't use him in the correct way, so he went back to NXT, doing what he did fucking awesome. And now that he's back on to the main roster, it seems like he's back lost in the shuffle. But it's not him, it's the fucking upper people, the upper management who fucking everything up, who's not booking him in the correct way. At this point, if you say Finn Balor come on to AEW, I will agree with you, because I don't like them like burying him and making him seem like he's irrelevant in WWE, because we've seen what he can do in New Japan, and we know that he can be a fucking megastar. WWE is just lost. They don't know how to use it.
Here's what I'll say, so I don't sound like the AEW mark. Finn Balor's in his 40s. They don't like people in their 40s. Finn Balor is,
he a good 40 though.
Took the words right out of my mouth. He's 40. He's in his 40s, but he looks like he's in his mid to late 20s.
Yes.
So you could kayfabe is dead, and that's what I believe WWE doesn't understand. It's not like you can say he looks in his mid to late 20s, but he looks it on TV. And we don't really care, because we know how Finn Balor is. I'm going to leave it there.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley versus Nikki Ash. This match didn't even get started. The heels came out and called Nikki Ash a leech, and then Nikki Ash just started beating the shit out of Rhea Ripley. Omos beat Reggie. Dear God, Omos destroyed Reggie.
Bro, I know Reggie been beaten before, but in order to stop the 24/7 title, this is his first time that he actually got a one-on-one match where he was squashed and it's just not rolled up for 3 seconds. So this is bad but good, I would say, because this is for the 24/7 title, right?
No, Dana Brooke is still your 24/7 champion.
I'm tripping. I'm thinking Reggie had it, but just for the simple fact that before, when Reggie was beat all the times because he was 24/7 champion, he always got rolled up. But this is his first time getting squashed. But on Omos case, I would really say that this is good, because he's not. This week he didn't go up against local talent. He actually went up against somebody who signed with WWE. Even though it was Reggie, but it just so they got
Salamander, I hate to do this, because I know they want to push Omos, but if you put the 24/7 title on Omos, he might just add a little bit of prestige to it.
That's what I was thinking too. Like, if he get the title, who gonna take that shit off him?
Nobody. He give it up when he wants to.
Yeah, so it's gonna build some prestige too, because he gonna go out there and he gonna make that title look dominant shit too, if they book him in the right way. Then it kind of brings the title back to the aspect how R-Truth had it. But they ain't going that way.
Nope. Maurice and Beth Phoenix had their face-to-face. Beth Phoenix comes out. Edge comes out with her. Maurice is already in the ring. She got great heat during the segment. She told Beth Phoenix that she doesn't want to do this. Her husband has a big mouth, yada, yada. Out of nowhere, The Miz and Edge start fighting outside. So I'm like, and mind you, when Maurice made her entrance, for some odd reason, I was drawn to the pocketbook. And I'm like, I kept my eyes on the pocketbook because it looked bigger than a regular pocketbook. Pocketbooks are really flat. That motherfucker was standing out. So Edge and Miz are fighting outside. Maurice hits Beth Phoenix in the back. The heels run away. They start making out, and Maurice pulls out a brick. Honestly, I thought the segment was really good. Don't want to see the match, but I thought it was really good.
I'm giving this a ass. Let's get the shitty emoji.
What?
I said this for the last 2 weeks. I don't want to see this shit. Like, if I'm gonna see Edge, I want to see Edge against this new up and coming talent. I want to see Edge face off against Austin Theory, Finn Balor, Shinsuke. These new talent, Damian Priest, like people like that. I don't want to see him against Edge. I mean, I don't want to see Edge against Miz. I don't want to see Edge wrestle people who was still signed to WWE, who he possibly wrestled before he retired the first time. I don't want to see that. That's like us, like when Edge first came back, I didn't want to see the Edge versus Randy Orton. That was a match good, yes it was, but it was the same. That's like them John Cena coming back again, and then they booking John Cena versus Randy Orton match. You don't want to see that shit. If we gonna get somebody like a fucking legend like Edge, we put him and he's gonna be here or be on weekly TV and be here for a while and do some work. Put him against up and coming talent. That way you can build up the next fucking star. You could build up the next star for the next generation. But who am I? I'm just some Mark.
Yes, indeed, you are, Mark, because it will be a nice little match at the Royal Rumble. Nothing more to it. Street Profits and Mysterios beat Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode, Commander Aziz, Apollo Crews. This match was nothing. It didn't go that long. The Mysterios then threw the Street Profits over the top rope to, put over the Royal Rumble. And then Ray threw his son out to hype up the Royal Rumble. God fucking awful was that. And I wish they would have gave us this visual at the Royal Rumble.
This was actually good because it's like Rey Mysterio, he's giving advice to the younger superstars while they participate in the Royal Rumble, And then him pushing over his son was the best part of that. Because at the same time, he's teaching his son to stay on his P's and Q's and not to trust everybody.
So do we
teaching his son a lesson, like, this is the Royal Rumble. You want to learn everything, by the heart and everything like that. So, this is what you got to learn. Everybody who's your friend is not your friend in this match. Everybody is all for yourself. The big come out of the big payoff of the match is a main event, a guaranteed main event slot, a guaranteed main event plus title shot at WrestleMania. So it don't matter if we best friends or not. Your ass going over the top rope. So I like that aspect of this. Like, even though it was short, it told a story at the same time because he's teaching all of the young guys. Ray was the vet in the ring. He teaching the Street Profits, all this shit. Even though y'all tagged, y'all in this match. It's everybody to themselves. So you can't trust everybody. Y'all got to say your piece of view. You feel me? The vet talking to the student.
I agree. Okay. When you put it like that, it puts it over more. So I'll give it that. But when I first saw it, I just wish the visual was done at the Royal Rumble. But so let me ask you this, and then we'll move on and knock out the rest of Monday Night Raw. Is Dominic throwing Ray over?
I think that's what it's going to end up leading to. WWE, they show something on TV, it's going to be the opposite way too. Like if a champion take the go home show, the champion end up taking the beat down, he's going to come off at the top at the pay-per-view. It's always like that. WWE, whoever sets up the table end up going to get thrown through it if it's WWE logic. So since they show that on TV, Ray throwing Dominic over at the Royal Rumble, it's going to be the opposite way.
Gotcha.
Thing like he gonna do it and smile like his dad, like then he gonna fuck around again. Let me get it. And then that's gonna be another thing they can tell that story. Getting up to WrestleMania, them possibly getting a one-on-one match. Them telling Ray telling Dominique, like, I told you to sing your P's and Q's and everything. You were so excited to get me out. You didn't even pay attention to what was going on behind you. Look at you. It was more of a thing like, chestnut checking.
I agree. So let me ask you this: if that is the direction, is that your WrestleMania opener?
I would say it depends if they make it official that this is the route that they're going. I would say first 2 matches.
I was gonna say, because honestly, if I'm thinking as a wrestler and I'm thinking the granddaddy of them all, people only remember, or for the most part, people really only remember the beginning and the end.
Yeah, the opening and then the ending. So
Yeah.
I'll put this within the first 2 matches if it has a build up. If it don't have a build up, they're just gonna book the match like they're just booking shit. No build up, pre-show.
Okay, I can see that too. We had Bobby Lashley on After the Bell talking about how he looked into Brock Lesnar's eyes and didn't see a soul there, so that really excites him for his match against Brock Lesnar. We then got a Bobby Lashley Brock Lesnar video package. This video package was fantastic, put over both of their careers. I did not like one thing, however, they did not include Bobby Lashley's Impact career. Yet they're supposedly supposed to have some type of partnership with Impact Wrestling.
Because in Impact shit, Bobby Lashley was the Brock Lesnar version. He was running that shit.
Right.
He was running through that shit. He held all the titles too.
Right. Didn't like that, but it was cool. Miz and Maurice segment backstage, they were leaving.
My fault. It's because I just thought about it. It's because they don't want us to see that. They want us to think that Bobby Lashley became a star in WWE. But they're not going to give, even though they got a partnership with them, they're not going to give Impact that, you know, he actually became the megastar. Not the megastar, but he actually became a star and to prove his in-ring ability there. You know, they don't want to give them that credit. So that makes sense of why they didn't include his Impact career. Because Bobby actually got better when he left WWE. And they don't want us to know that.
Agreed. Miz and Maurice segment backstage. Maurice's birthday is next week, and the Miz is going to throw her a big celebration. Can't wait to see how that's ruined.
It's going to be ruined by Edge.
Right.
I don't want to see this shit. Tell me.
Alexa Bliss therapy segment. God fucking awful. She's still doing this character. I just want her to come back as Little Miss Bliss. I'm going to continue to give WWE the benefit of the doubt and watch. But if she comes back to WWE as this little thing that she is, this character she is, I'm going to immediately say this character needs to be on Nick Khan's cut list. Not the wrestler herself, but this character. Because this character has got to go.
Yeah, they long.
Main event time, Bobby Lashley versus Seth Rollins. This match was 2 thumbs up. I don't like the ending. Bobby Lashley got the win off the disqualification by the Hurt Business. The Usos ran through the crowd and gave a super kick to Seth Rollins. Set up for what would happen later on in the week. Monday Night Raw. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I will say this about that. If Bobby ended up losing to Brock Lesnar, they're going to tell the story of the Hurt. He was distracted by the Hurt Business, or he's going to lose in the hands of the former Hurt Business. But it just shows you that, or if Bobby do lose, he's going to carry this as a chip, and it's going to show him that he going to have to handle that business before he even try to accomplish being world champion again. He's going to have to handle, Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander, and put that off to the side permanently for him to even move forward. But I do like, because last week Seth Rollins, how he dodged the Usos and everything, they wasn't able to even lay a finger on him. But it was like this week caught you lacking. Roman sent us, caught you. It's just giving him a sign, like telling him like you ain't safe. So I didn't like the ending, but I did, because it still made both of them look strong. Neither one of them took a pinfall or submission loss. It was ended by disqualification, but in ways like this, because they both stood to the story. They both got their own thing. Seth, he's going for the Universal title. Bobby's going for the WWE title. Is there a chance that both titles end up on Raw? Yeah, but we know WWE, no. So one title's going to be on Raw, one title's going to be on SmackDown. don't know which one yet. But they could, even though they had a match, they both looked good. There was a couple botches, like the botch that Steph tried to do the leg drag. He could have hurt himself and Bobby. The botch of the sling blade, but I kind of like how it was because him doing that against like a powerful person instead of landing on your back, landing on your front. So even though that was a botch, I like the way it looked and stuff too. So if he can implement doing the sling blade like that against bigger opponents, I think that would be a major payoff for that move.
Nah, definitely agree. Monday Night Raw, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Solid show.
I'm giving it a 6.
Okay, so your 6 is solid, but I'm saying it's a 4. I think I'm gonna do 5 out of 10. Solid show. I mean, it was solid for as solid as Monday Night Raw can be.
Yeah.
Moving on. Oh, sorry.
This ain't 2002 Raw, so I don't think they'll ever be like that again.
No, I think they can do it. Typically, the nights after WrestleMania is when they get their highest. So,
last year was fucking ass, and the year before that was fucking ass after Raw. We didn't get no debuts, no returns for that.
Breezing through NXT 2.0, we had an LA Knight Grayson Waller opening promo. Thought this was fantastic. LA Knight has to make this to be a megastar. Salamander, he was backstage at SmackDown. I'm gonna leave that there.
I was about to say LA Knight making his way to the main roster. He's main roster ready.
Yes, he is definitely main roster ready. LA Knight wanted to fight Grayson Waller. Grayson Waller had a restraining order. Out comes a returning Dexter Lumis. Then we had a Grayson Waller versus Dexter Lumis match. Grayson Waller won off the interference of some big guy who we never got an explanation of who it is. I guess it's Grayson Waller's hired gun. Then we had a video package on the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic with the brackets of MSK versus Jacket Time, Malik Blade and Idris Sanofi versus Legado del Fantasma, Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen versus the Creed Brothers, and Grizzle Young Veterans versus Andre Chase and I believe it's Buddy Hayward. We had an MSK Legado del Fantasma promo where Legado was saying they're going to be in the next round and they're going to take care of MSK later on. We then had the first round of the Dusty Club Tag Team Classic with Josh Briggs, Brooke Jensen versus the Creed Brothers. I thought this match was fantastic. I really love the Creed Brothers. I'm starting to like Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen. Kind of give me a Trevor Murdoch. And who was Trevor Murdoch's tag team partner back in the day?
Lex K.
Yes, kind of giving me that type of vibes, and I love it. Next up, we had a Dante Chen video package. Then we had an Imperium segment. Both of these were okay. I don't like Imperium. I don't like the subtitles, I'll say, when it comes to Imperium promos. We had Dante Chen versus Guru Raji, which ended in a double DQ. We had a returning Duke Hudson. I almost forgot. We had a returning Duke Hudson. He caused a double DQ. We had a Joe Gacy, Harlan Odyssey Jones backstage segment. I thought this was fantastic and putting over how Harlan is a silent killer. We had a Braun Breaker interview next, which led to a stare down with Elektra Lopez and Santos Escobar. We then had a Tony D'Angelo memorial service for Pete Dunne. This was interrupted by Carmelo Hayes, which was also then interrupted by Cameron Grimes. I think this is going to be a fantastic match that Tony D'Angelo and Cameron Grimes are going to have. It's going to be number one contender to see who challenges for Carmelo Hayes North American Championship. We then have Brooks Jensen and Josh Briggs, Casey Canizaro, Caden Carter segment next. I guess they're trying to start some romance angle with Casey Canizaro and I believe it's Josh Briggs. And Wendy Chu, who is supposed to be the new Orange Cassidy for NXT, was just standing up there and saying, "Ooh, I think he likes you." Like, bro, I guess this is their Orange Cassidy.
That whole shit that you just said just sums up NXT 2.0. It just sums it up how it is. This is not the black and gold brand. I can think that.
Right.
This is the Crayola brand. All them damn colors.
The 64 box or the 128?
128. All them damn.
Oh, Lord. We had a video on Valentina Feroz and Ulisa Leon. Dakota Kai comes in and says success ruins friendships. I'm really loving this Dakota Kai character where she just hands out advice, but it's like the wrong time to hand out advice. I'm really liking this character for her. We had Kaylee Ray versus Ivy Nile. Ivy Nile got the win. I love that because I'm starting to like Ivy Nile from Diamond Mine. She has a lot going for her. We had a Saray promo package. You know, the Saray that Triple H brought in from Japan, but then she went home. Now she dresses like a Japanese schoolgirl.
It's NXT 2.0.
At its finest. Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic first round matchup. Malik Blade and Idris Anofi versus Legado del Fantasma. Malik Blade and Idris Anofi got the win. Legado del Fantasma took them too lightly was the story. I'm actually interested to go ahead.
I really think because this is NXT 2.0, this is not the black and gold brand. I really believe that they should go away from all of this the shit that Triple H introduced us to. So the Dusty Road Classics, all that shit should be going away because it's not NXT. It's different. NXT takeovers should go away. It should just be NXT presents or whatever pay-per-view it is or whatever. Because NXT is not the same anymore. So you should go about all that shit that might continue to us back to go. And that's probably what I was before. Y'all gave it a name, instead of just pushing up the way it looks and keep it as NXT. So the fact that y'all call it 2.0 means it's a different version of NXT. So y'all should give us different versions of what NXT introduced us to.
I agree. We had a Malcolm Bivens segment next, hyping up the main event between Walter and Roderick Strong. Solo Sequoia promo next. Him and Boa are going to have, I believe, a street fight. I don't know why they still calling this man Solo Sequoia. He's clearly a Uso. I don't think he needed NXT. Just throw him up there with the Bloodline and have him be in that mid-card division. That way the Bloodline can have all the gold on SmackDown. They need Naomi to join the Bloodline to get all the gold. But
I wouldn't even do that. I would have had him come on and then like you could tell a certain story, but had him come on to the main roster as the third Uso and then fuck around and had when they drop the belt or whatever and they going back in, had him in there with Jimmy. And then that way we could get main event Uso back to his shit. He could I would have main event Uso be in the mid card and go for that United States title and all that shit. And then have his brother filling his position with Jimmy with the tag. That way it's kind of new, it's kind of refreshing because we already seen it's like the New Day win another tag team title. Like I don't need that shit for real. So this will be different. The Usos winning, but it's like I don't need that for real. But think about it, it's like, oh, it's a new Uso member. It's Jimmy and then the brothers. So he's like, all right, bet it's a different feeling than Jimmy and Jay winning the titles again. You got Jay going for the Intercontinental, and then you got the Usos, the tag team title, but it's another Uso. So it felt like it's a brand new team. That's how I would have did it. I wouldn't even put him into that one because Jay was already getting that push when Jimmy was gone. So I will continue capitalizing on that one.
I like it. Dakota Kai.
The other way to get Jay to touch gold besides tag team gold, it seemed like it's the right way to do.
I mean, this Uso is more suited for singles competition. So I would have him be the guy who's going for mid-card gold. Like Jay had his nice run, and I could see him as an Intercontinental Champion, but you run into the problem of where you're putting a tag team champion with a singles title. Because what if you want the Usos to win the belt again? That'd be kind of weird to have the SmackDown and a Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, that's why I was like, the brother that's on NXT will fit perfectly in that, because I think Jay could have had a huge singles run. It's just the fact that they didn't want to make him too big because they knew that they was gonna put him back into the tag when Jimmy comes back. And then they didn't want to make him too big because then they didn't want him to go up against Roman Reigns. Even though we got to see that, but we got to see it like he go up against Roman Reigns just to, fall in line. So now that he fell in line, and so he wanted to capitalize on his singles career, I think that would make more sense of that. Because now he got both of his brothers plus his cousin to help him achieve singles success.
I would say if Roman goes away and you still want to keep this bloodline, then do that and insert Jimmy. Insert Jay to that. They kind of be like mid-card upper main eventers because it's still the bloodline and Roman can still make his special guest appearances.
Yeah.
And Jay would be that guy. He might get a world title shot here, and if he's hot at the moment, then you can put that belt on him.
I wouldn't even put the belt on him. I would make him like the upper mid card. He carrying the Intercontinental, building prestige to that title because him being a part of the bloodline. Plus, I would have him go on a fucking tear like how Roman did. Like he'll have matches and stuff against against mid card people, right? And then he'll get his challenge, which is like the Shinsuke and Sorrow, whatever like that. That would be his challenge. So then that would be the same storyline of like when Roman get challenged, and then get to the point where it looks like Roman's gonna lose, and then the Usos come in and are helping him save. So it'd be like that. He gets challenges against Shinsuke and shit like that. And look like it's gonna go into Shinsuke's favor. Then that's when the Usos come out and help Jay win and keep his title. I have him hold that shit for like a year, drop it, then put him in the main event where he running through the main event like how he was when he was main event Uso. Then get that title opportunity, lose, but he's still there. But it's like one of the ones how Jeff Hardy, before he actually got that title run, how he was always there. And if he was announced to be your opponent, if you're the champion, it was believable. Like, damn, Jeff might pick up the win. He'll bring you a good ass match, but you're gonna lose. They make the payoff to be like that way. When he finally accomplished and get the main title, it's a payoff. And then, since WWE like to reuse storyline, he finally wins the title, and then it's like Roman congratulate him, but then they'll all beat his ass. So that evolution story with the bloodline.
I like it.
Roman felt like he's the only top dog. He's the only one in the bloodline that can touch that main title. If you gonna be part of this bloodline and you want to touch gold, you can touch the main card and the tag shit. But this shit right here is off limits. This is fine. You overstep your boundaries, right? So this is what's gonna happen. And then that's how you put the belt back on Roman.
Love it. Dakota Kai versus Yulisa Leon. Dakota Kai won this match. We had a Raquel Gonzalez Cora J segment. Cora J asked her to be her partner in the Women's Dusty Cup. Raquel Gonzalez, I believe she said no. Malik Blade, Idris Anofi, Braun Breaker segment next. Braun Breaker congratulated them. Said I didn't do anything. That was all you guys. He took out Santos Escobar during the match. We didn't have Walter versus Roderick Strong. Salamander, I'm not going to lie to you. This was 2 thumbs up. NXT is pumping out match of the year contenders. They are pumping them out.
We had Gunther versus Roderick Strong. Why are they changing his name? That's the shit I don't get. We reported on this earlier this week. For those who's listening on Spotify and all the other podcast platforms, you want to hear that, you can go ahead and check us out on YouTube at WBPTV Wrestling. But when we reported on this, I'm like, why? Why do the WWE continue to fuck up people's names that don't need? The whole point of the whole Walter character was good. For one, they from the UK, but the name fits with him. Plus, I like the way how he come out and then the Walter is spelled in the back, and it's like he is standing in the middle, so it's like he represents the big ass L and shit. So, but they fucked this all up. Like, I don't understand. Especially because NXT, it'd be different. NXT was on WWE Network or Peacock, depending on when you're watching it at. It makes sense if they would have changed his name then, But since y'all on national TV and he already been walked so long, why are y'all changing his name right? That's like Damian Priest coming out and then this week he's Damian Priest and next week he's Prince Damian. Like, why y'all changing his name now? It don't make sense. It really don't. It just shows you that all the backlash that they got from changing his name, it really just shows you that they don't do their research. They don't know what the fuck. They just lost in the shuffle.
Gotta kill Triple H's NXT, little by little. Next up, we had AEW Dynamite, Salamander. AEW Dynamite. Up and down was this show. But we had a returning Jon Moxley.
Who looked fucking great, by the way.
He looked in fantastic shape. Salamander, for a split second, I thought that was Dean Ambrose. I swore that was Dean Ambrose when he came out. Quick question before I jump into the promo. As a wrestling geek, if you get hit with that water bottle, are you okay?
I will be.
You will be. You'll be okay getting splashed water because this motherfucker Jon Moxley just wants to come out here and just be super intense.
Yeah, if I'm a good fan, yeah. But if it's somebody like who I don't know, just making their debut, who you just really don't know about, then I'm taking the bet.
Okay, because it hit us.
I'll take that. I'm like, yeah, that's cool.
Bro, he launched that bottle at least 50 yards. It hit a security person.
Hey, that's John.
Jumping into the promo, Salamander.
Water bottle for me.
Salamander jumping into the promo. You know, in most systems in the US, they go A, B, C, D, F, right? Promos tonight were S tier promos. They were in a class all their own. First, starting with Jon Moxley. But first, what did you think of Jon Moxley dropping the F-bomb when that fan said, "Get this drunk piece of shit out the ring"? And he said, "Dude, go fuck yourself. Get him the fuck out of here." I watched it on TBS and they didn't blurt it out.
Yeah.
What did you?
You just see how much difference in AEW promos and WWE promos. Just one little change, like drop a cuss word. Not the simple shit like, oh, bitch or ass. That's a hard cuss word, you know? A fuck. That's a hard cuss word, especially to be on TV. But just the fact they let him drop it without bleeping it out, and it just made the promo more of a masterclass promo. All right, this promo put it like you said, it's in the lane all by itself.
Like what I really loved about the promo is Washington DC were quiet. You could hear a pin drop
because they wanted to hear what he said. And fuck what Bully Ray had to say about Jon Moxley. I do not think that he deserved. I do not think that he needed to apologize at all. Because for one and foremost, get yourself together. You know, that's important. Your health, your mental health, all that stuff is important. Focus on yourself first. You see that you focus on yourself and you coming back. Now we embrace it. Yes, mission. That's why we was quiet. We want to hear what you have to say. That's the fans showed him the respect. There was no need for him. He didn't need to apologize. And I don't know what the fuck he was talking about. But I don't think he should have. He ain't need to apologize.
So here's what I'll say. I agree. He didn't need to apologize. This promo was masterclass. I couldn't even do it justice describing it, but I'll do it real quick and then I'll jump into what I had to say. He talked about being asleep on the plane. It's just how he was being haunted by demons in his dream and just telling us that the scars that we bear, the one on the insides, are the ones that matter. Bully Ray, I believe Salamander, it was coming from more, I think it was coming from more of a creative place because as a babyface in WWE, that's what they were right for you to say. So I think he was coming at it from that standpoint. I don't agree, but I can kind of see his stance on it. I don't think he needed to apologize. He did what absolutely all of us wanted him to do. Go away. Get better. Because don't do it for us. Do it for Renee. Do it for your beautiful daughter that's at home. And I was looking at pictures of before he left and after he left. He looks, like you said, he looks tremendous. He looks way better than how he was looking before he left. And I'm glad he stepped away and took this time.
More health.
Yes, he just overall looks like he's in a better mental place. And that was beautiful. We had the mixed tag action next. Adam Cole and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, versus Chris Statlander and Orange Cassidy. Salamander, I thought this match was fantastic. It had the right amount of comedy, and they didn't give us the intergender wrestling, but I did like the end where Orange Cassidy bumped Britt Baker and she crashed through the table, and that led to Adam Cole losing his shit. And I love the camera angle of Orange Cassidy just standing there, and you just see Adam Cole just start going batshit crazy.
Yeah.
It is going to lead to
you don't touch the doctor. Period. Point blank.
You don't touch the doctor. You don't touch the doctor. It is going to lead to a lights out match at Beach Break next week in Cleveland, Ohio. Now, Adam Cole has beat Jungle Boy, has beat Orange Cassidy every time. These lights out matches don't count towards your record.
Orange Cassidy coming in with the win.
Do we see a debuting Johnny Gargano? No.
Everybody is not gonna go to AEW.
So we don't see a debuting Johnny Gargano in Cleveland.
Nah. Wow, shit. That's another thing, cause that is.
He has history. He has history with best friends. Chuck Taylor, Trent Beretta.
I would say if he comes, he's coming, but he's not signed. It's just to get a pop in his hometown, just to see. Like, it might be a thing Tony Khan want to see. Like, let's see how the fans will react if he steps foot into AEW. AEW is known for that too, bringing people in who's not officially signed with them yet. So I could see him coming in, and it's a lights out just to see how the emotions will be. He get a huge pop. Yes, he signed into AEW. If not, then I can see him going to Impact for real.
Care to make a wager? If we get a Johnny Gargano is all elite thing on Twitter, you put me over.
Deal. That's a deal.
There we go. Moving on, we had CM Punk versus Shawn Spears. This match was 2 thumbs up. We said, or you said last week, the Wardlow match was the best storytelling match in AEW. This match was the best one. He beat Shawn Spears in about 10 seconds.
I don't really think I don't think this overtops what happened last week.
Come on, MJF on commentary and he beats Shawn Spears in 10 seconds?
Yeah, but it's just basically showing them, like, you know, like they got a lights out match together, right?
Who?
CM Punk and MJF.
No, not yet. We don't know what type of match it is.
Also, we don't know. It's a lights out match. MJF is picking up the win. If it's not, then I really think that CM Punk is gonna win. But I also think I'm really leaning towards either way it goes, CM Punk is gonna win. I mean, yeah, I can see that. CM Punk is basically about to be undefeated. It's a good thing, but then it's a bad thing. It's a good thing because it's like, you know, we ain't see CM Punk wrestling so long, so we loving it. But then it's like, all right, now you just tearing through all these young talent and shit too. So it's bound for you to lose sometime. But at the same time, it is good because whoever picks up the win and whoever gives CM Punk his first loss, it's gonna be fucking tremendous. What did I say? McMarvelous. It's gonna be McMarvelous because that person's gonna be next up. No matter who it is. Whoever gives CM Punk his first loss, that person is next up.
Nah, I definitely agree. We had a Billy Gunn, Christian Cage segment next. The Ass Boys are wanting a championship match. Christian Cage told Billy Gunn that he can never win the big one, and the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So the Ass Boys jumped Christian Cage backstage.
They're gonna win because for one, they be on the tear. Ain't they still undefeated in tag team competition?
Yeah, they're undefeated.
So they're going to be on the tear. I think they are going to win, but if they get the tag titles, they will really tell you that would be the challenge. The hard part, I don't think winning is the hard part. The hard part is what you do after you became champion. I think that really makes or breaks your championship experience. So if they do win, I think that the hard part is ahead of them, which is the challenges that's gonna come, the people who's gonna come for that title if they can really maintain it. Because you can win, but the thing is your title reign isn't good enough. You know what I mean? So if they win, but they don't put up good matches, they put up better matches before they was even in the title picture, they'll make a break. Is what all of I'm saying. So I would like to see them as tag champs. Their daddy right there, leading the way, coaching the way. That will be a experience I would like to see.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't see the Ass Boys winning any type of AEW gold, not yet, at least. In about a year and a half or two, I can definitely see them up there.
I think it's perfect time because they're the underdogs right now. They're the underdogs because everybody is against them. So why? It will be the perfect time for them to win because everybody's against them. So they pick up the win. It's gonna be a shocker. But like I said, the bigger challenge is how their title reign is gonna go. It's gonna make or break them. Either if y'all a good team, then y'all should be able to lift last this title. You know? So like, because I think it's more to a title reign. Like if you win, it's more to it. So it's not just you pick up the belt and you held it for 266 days and shit like that. I think it's more of within them 266 days, what did you do? How many title defense did you have? In the matches that you was on, did you look good wrestling? Did you make the title look good? Did you, with your promos, did you get made look weak or anything like that? So that's where it all comes to play. So if they get that title, I think them holding it is what's gonna make or break.
Yeah, just AEW don't do short title reigns, and that's my thing. Like they just got the belts not that long ago, so I don't really see them lose it. The next time I see them actually losing those belts is probably going to be to Santana and Ortiz after Eddie Kingston and Proud and Powerful turn heel.
But it could be a thing of they challenge Jurassic Express for it, lose, and then they just basically go back to the table and figure out what they went wrong. And then they find out what they went wrong. And then even though they've been undefeated, they got that one loss on their record. Let's say they 10 right now, 10-0. They lose to Jurassic Express, they became 10-1. And then they go on and they figure out what they went wrong. They went to the table, circle back around, figure out what they went wrong, and then boom. They went from 10-1 to now they fucking 21-1. So now they went on the tear again. Now they're back in that title picture. Boom, they finally take the belts off of them. It could be something like that too. Like they live, you learn basically. Lost against the opponent, I basically went back, study film. They came back to it.
I mean, I feel you, and I can see where you're coming from. I will have to see it play out before I will honestly be able to make an assertion about it. But I like what you said. Cody Rhodes promo next. Just like the Moxley promo, this was S tier. Cody Rhodes put on a masterclass because everybody's booing Cody. Don't know why they're booing Cody. He comes out and he references CM Punk's pipe bomb, and then he goes on to put himself over, talking about I built the Forbidden Door. Who was the one who went to New Japan? It was me. Who tag teamed with the Young Bucks? It was me. He also referenced the Walter name change. And he then proceeded to say there can only proceeded to go on and say a ladder match for the undisputed TNT Championship match, harping back to Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania. for the Intercontinental Championship ladder match. I think this was fantastic. Like I said, the promo was S tier. It really showed you that Cody Rhodes, even though he's getting booed, he can still control a crowd when he talks.
It just shows you that he's working.
Hold up, you said what?
I say it shows you that he's working us because he's not going to leave AEW at all.
Right.
It's just a matter of time before he announced that he signed. Just a matter of time for real.
I definitely agree. Salamander, I'm going to give you your flowers. Salamander, I'm going to give you your flowers one more time. Actually, 2 more times. This is one of the 2. Your girl Jade Cargill issues an open challenge. It was then answered by Anna Jay of the Dark Order. She looks really good with that gold.
Fighting champ. Going down. She gonna get down. I'm telling you. Yeah, she gonna hold that title. She gonna set fucking standard on that title. Like, it's they gonna use this TBS title to be a more of a stepping stone. Ready for that, like, push, but you're not there yet. This is what this title is for. Like, you reported on it. Britt Baker gave her props. Jade Cargill, she stood green. You know that. But every time she steps in that ring, she improving. She gets better. So it's about time for her to get that push, but she's not ready for that mega push yet. So I think this title is going to be used as a stepping stone. This is what Jade Cargill is what's going to be like the blueprint of how a woman in AEW, how you supposed to make an impact. Boom, boom, boom. So yeah, that's Jade Cargill's blueprint for all AEW members for coming in and out the company.
I definitely agree. Next up, we had Kings of the Black Throne versus the Varsity Blondes. I want to point out one thing. The match was fantastic. It really put over the Kings of the Black Throne. I thought the entrance was good. But listen to this, Salamander. When Justin Roberts, the Dapper Yapper, introduced them, they were honoring the House of Black. Just that little extra on the entrance, on the announcement of their team, really put them over, and they looked really good. Malachi Black and Brody King, they looked really good.
They do. And another thing, I won't say I'm a big fan, but I am a fan of Brian Pillman, and I just really think he deserves it. I think he deserves singles or tag, but he deserved to be a put. And I really like that play on the day they tagged him. His daddy is who we all know now as Stone Cold Steve Austin. His daddy Brian Pillman and Stone Cold was in the tag called Hollywood. I kind of like that he called back to that. But it kind of shows you that I kind of see what they're gonna do with this Brian Pillman character. He did his singles thing, it didn't really work out. Tag, they're gonna touch gold. They may only touch gold once, but they're gonna touch gold, and then they're gonna break up the tag. Both of them. But Brian, they're gonna capitalize on that. They'll ask Brian Pillman, but book him where they in WWE or.
Yeah, I love the Varsity Blondes, Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr. And I like how they took the botch of him on that springboard, and I like how they put it into this match. He was scared to hit the springboard, and Brody King just stared him down. So I like that aspect of this match as well. We had a Lance Archer, Hangman Page video package. We did have Roppongi Vice and a Brandon Cutler promo next where they challenged the Young Bucks. We had Lance Archer versus Frankie Kazarian. A lot of people are saying that this match went too long. I'm sort of in agreement, but they had a lot of squash matches going on tonight, so I was actually glad to see a match go on for longer than 2 to 5. This match went about 10 minutes.
The show, man, they beat Raw in the ratings, so the whole show was good. Even though it was squash matches, the right people won. At least I'd rather get a lot of squash matches where the right person wins versus getting a lot of promos. I mean, Raw, we got hella promo.
Yeah, definitely. Post-match, Hangman Page and Lance Archer started to fight. Page got the upper hand. We had Dante Martin, Lee Moriarty, Matt Sydal segment next, saying that they have Dante Martin's back until his brother comes in. Then we had Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs telling Dante Martin to guard his front, back, and sides. Then we had Layla Hirsch, Red Velvet, Chris Statlander. Layla Hirsch turned heel by attacking Red Velvet and Chris Statlander. I'm actually excited about this Layla Hirsch heel turn. I think Layla Hirsch has a lot of promise that hasn't been tapped into. And she had a fantastic showing at Mickie James in NWA Empower pay-per-view. She had a nice match with Camille. So I think Layla Hirsch is a future TBS champion.
I also think Tay Conti is a future TBS champion.
Oh yeah, definitely. We had Serena Deeb versus Sky Blue. Serena Deeb got the win, tapped her out in about 3 minutes. That was a squash match. It was a great squash match, though. Serena Deeb and Sky Blue. They worked well together for the little bit of time they had. Ethan Page segment next, where he said he'll step up and be the first person to challenge Mox. That will happen on Rampage. We had Matt Hardy and Andrade El Idolo segment, where Andrade El Idolo purchased 51% of the Hardy family office. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with Andrade, but I agree with everybody else. And it took me a minute to get here because I love Tony Khan and what he's doing with AEW. But you got to get Andrade into something else.
Let me tell you this. Tony Khan, what he done with AEW so far. But, you know, you just can't write everybody. You can't. He's going to have his hands on some people who just don't work out. And it's looking like Andrade is one of the people who's just not working out right. But, I mean, it don't take away from what he done for AEW so far, because Tony Khan did a great ass job at AEW so far. But they just don't work out. Like you said, there's some people who not fit, and everything. So maybe Andrade, like, he probably was better off in WWE. It just, you know, everybody happens with WWE, just like John Cena said and all this stuff. Sometimes you have to wait your turn. You have to stick with the bullshit that they're giving you, but it might be a great payoff later on. But sometimes some people have to make that turn. Like in WWE, he may not be getting the push that he wanted right now, but you never know. They probably had a plan for like a year or two later. That was actually going to take off. Shit. I mean, here's AEW so far. I'm not impressed. I think he was better off than that before, from what I've been seeing.
I mean, he's had great matches with Pac, but to just piggyback off you said, and this is going to be a testament to Triple H. Triple H had him right, and that just goes to show you what Triple H can do. And as great as Tony Khan has been in these 3 years, I was thinking Andrade El Idolo was a future TNT champion, working his way up to a future AEW champion in about a year and a half. I mean, he's a great heel to take it off of whatever face you have at that time. And like you said, sometimes you do got to wait your turn. So maybe this is just a waiting game. Yeah, we got Andrade El Idolo in this, but we're waiting until we free up some room in that TNT championship picture or that AEW World Championship picture. Or hey, when we introduce trios titles, we can get him, with the Lucha Bros, and we can do that. So, like you said, maybe it is just a wait your turn type of thing. When he gets his turn, then we'll see what Tony Khan really has in store for him. But right now, it's not good. Main event, Acclaimed versus Darby Allin and Sting. This was fantastic. Excellent main event. Sting did a dive off the stage and put Max Caster through the table at 60 years old.
Sting is a GOAT.
He is.
Sting is a GOAT. Like, I will say he's the best wrestler coming out of WCW. That show. Then on top of that, he's one of the best wrestlers that Impact had ever done. I would say that as
and you know what's crazy? He worked majority of this match. Like at 60 years old, he wasn't just a hot tag. He worked a lot of the match.
Oh yeah, he can still go. I think he got one more single.
I can see that. I wouldn't say world title.
Yes, sir.
TNT.
Why not though? Why not? He can touch the world title.
Sting, 60-year-old Sting.
Man, it's believable. The Sting ain't never really fallen off. Any match that we seen besides even the Seth Rollins match when he got hurt, he still looked good. It was just when he got hurt, that's when it kind of looked like you could tell yeah, he hurt. But before that, he was still looking good. And I could see just one more title run, like even though AEW don't do short title runs, but hey, this might be the first one. Just to put the title on him, just to say, hey man, I had a match with Sting and I lost. Like, he lost to it like it's a legend. It's not like a legend demanding to be in the spotlight. So, putting on Darby Allin. And then I think after that, he can go ahead and Sting the front.
So let me ask you this. Let's just say a year and a half down the line, Darby Allin wins the championship. Does he turn on Darby Allin and we get heel Sting?
Possibly.
Would you want to see that?
I would like, if it's just going to be his last run, yes. Get darker face paint and all that. He don't even got a panel. He could hit him with Scorpion Deathlock. That's more believable, stuff like that too. So he could win off of that, and then he could win and either retire like that next week or whatever, and then vacate the title, or carry it out just to hold it on as long as he can. And once we drop it, but just to say like, yeah, I did it. His retirement speech. I would actually have it like that. Like if he do win, and he turns on Darby and shit like that, and then they get to that story, and then when they finally had that match for the title, Sting wins it via submission to the Scorpion Deathlock. Then you could go ahead and that next week on Dynamite have him come out cut a promo, basically saying that he did everything, give a whole run to his from his career. How much he accomplished and all that, and then end it off like, now he can say he did everything because he was AEW World Champion. And then leave the belt in the ring and leave.
I like it. I like it a lot. We're going to breeze through SmackDown because SmackDown was god-awful this week. We have the Usos and Roman Reigns segment celebrating Roman Reigns as the longest reigning Universal Champion. That was interrupted by Seth Rollins, who then challenged the Usos to a match. If the Usos lose, they are barred from ringside. The Usos asked him, who's going to partner with you backstage? Nobody likes you. And as soon as he said that, I said, Kevin Owens. And out of nowhere, Kevin Owens' music hit. I'm like, that seems kind of predictable. Roman says nothing is final until the Tribal Chief says it's final. He then said if Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens lose, then he forfeits his shot at the Royal Rumble. And he goes on vacation until WrestleMania. Thought the opening segment was good. Glad they added stakes to the main event. That's what I couldn't say.
It was decent. Like I said, it was a lot of promos on WWE this week. A lot of promos. Like a lot of promos. It was just a lot.
Promo heaven. Oh, we had Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin segment next. This was god awful. It led to Madcap Moss versus Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston got the win. Hey, Salamander, a long time ago, you said something about 50-50 booking.
There was a lot of 50-50 bookings today too. And then they took the straps off of Killer Cross. Fired them straps on Madcap Moss.
Oh, I just got what you did. Yeah, they did, didn't they? That's funny. We had Aaliyah versus Natalya. Aaliyah got the win because Natalya got DQ'd because she just was beating the shit out of Aaliyah in the corner. God awful. We had Los Lotharios versus the Viking Raiders. The Viking Raiders got the win.
Hey,
God awful.
Let's just bury a promising future tag team on SmackDown. Just for no reason.
Yeah.
I don't think they should have been buried. Not to me. You could have had motherfucking the Viking Raiders go against local talent. Call it a day. But why not? It's WWE. Let's go ahead and bury a promising up-and-coming tag team on SmackDown. They just bury them and just say, fuck it.
Hey, John Cena said you gotta wait your turn. You gotta wait your turn, man. Next up, we had Naomi versus Charlotte. Naomi took the referee's shirt, put it on herself. She was now the official referee. She rang the bell, and they did a Nashville screw job. Sonya Deville.
And Naomi took the ref shirt.
No, Sonya Deville took the ref shirt, put it on herself. She was the legal referee for Naomi versus Charlotte.
No, you said that.
I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My bad. Run it back. We had Naomi versus Charlotte. Sonya Deville came down, took the referee's shirt, put it on herself. So now Sonya Deville is the referee for this match. Naomi and Charlotte was having a decent back and forth. Charlotte locks in the figure 4. Before she even transitions to the figure 8, Sonya Deville rings the bell, and Pat McAfee says, "What in the Bret Hart is going on?" They pulled a Nashville screw job.
Yeah. We getting that match at WrestleMania. That's gonna be one of the high profile female matches at WrestleMania. It's gonna be Sonya Deville versus Naomi.
Salamander, this is where you're wrong, because later on we got Eric Bischoff, Adam Pearce, and Sonya Deville. It came from upper management that Naomi and Sonya Deville are going to have this match next week.
It's gonna be a screw job. It's not gonna happen, or it's gonna happen. Sonya Deville gonna pick up the win, but it's gonna be on some bullshit. But the actual payoff is gonna be at WrestleMania that we gonna get. Telling you. And then what they should do is, like how they did to on that one, talk about it came from upper management. When it happens, it should be like, all right, well, we getting this match at WrestleMania, and since you've been in the spotlight for so long, putting a bad rep on on us or whatever. This is the whatever. If you lose, you fired, basically. Like I said last week, that's what they should do. Stipulation. That's the stipulation. That's what the ground's looking for.
Salamander, I think they should do this the complete opposite way. I think Sonya Deville should take some time off. But during this time, she's actually studying and training to be an actual WWE referee. Naomi wins the Royal Rumble, gets that match with Charlotte, and the referee is introduced as Sonya Deville. But then we do a little referee bump, and that's how Naomi picks up the win and becomes the SmackDown Women's Champion.
Hey, you can always do that match too. Prolong it or whatever. It's just, as long as the story just makes sense and we get the ultimate payoff, that's all I care about.
Right. Because then that could be Naomi's first feud as SmackDown Women's Champion with Sonya Deville.
That means she also made her authority figure because she studied to become a ref. Now she a ref, and then it's really hard for her to get her hands, for Naomi to put her hands on her. And for her to step into the ring, she got to submit, forfeit her referee duty.
But see, if you're gonna do it that way, then Sonya Deville has to be the heel who takes it off Naomi. But here's the thing: you could weave in the storyline of Naomi never gets Sonya Deville as a rep during her regular matches, but when she has a championship match, it's always Sonya Deville.
You could if they do that, Sonya Deville is guaranteed to be into the Hall of Fame because she literally touched every role on WWE you could do. She did the authority figure, she did the wrestler, she did the referee. She Hall of Fame man.
And here's the thing:
she should be abducted.
Yeah, and here's the thing: just because it's Sonya Deville, you still treat her like a referee. She's still out there reffing other matches, and for every now and again, she might cheat for a heel. But for most of the time, she always calls the matches down the middle, and then she somehow magically gets all of Naomi's championship matches.
I will have her get like Naomi championship matches, but I will also have her like, since she's a heel, I will have her play as a heel ref. So when we get the heel versus baby faces matches, if she referee them, most of the time the heels come out victorious because she helped. So she get them like when you're in the corner, she counts slow for the heels. Then when the baby face is there, then she counts fast. Like, all right, you better hurry up. I'll count you out. I'll DQ, like doing all that.
Oh, okay. You're talking about when they're out on the outside counting slow for the hit. Yeah, I like that. Add that depth to her character. Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. We had a Sami Zayn in Zayn segment next. He was trying to up the jackass stunt with the cattle prod. Johnny Knoxville came out and shocked Sami Zayn. This was god fucking awful.
No one see Johnny Knoxville.
No, not at all.
It happened the first time y'all was planning on doing it in 2007 or 2008. Should have happened then. Shouldn't happen then. I guess get it and y'all ran y'all course. It's not funny no more.
Next up, we had Sheamus versus Ricochet. Sheamus was with the returning Ridge Holland, and he squashed Ricochet. Nothing more to it. Next up, I'm sorry, do you want to say something?
He's in the same boat that I put Holland. Like WWE don't know how to, they just so good on NXT. It's so good for man, fuck around and turn Ricochet heel, bring back the Chris Cooper character. That's what I would do.
I think he's beyond repair.
That's why you got to do a character change. So when we get that Ricochet character back, you know, they get the ultimate pop. But go ahead and turn him heel and have him back in the mask. And then this will be his heel character side. So then you can change his name and stuff. And then you can throw the aspect of, is that Ricochet? Because it's tattoo. But no, Prince Puma and stuff like that. But he's a heel. You do that for like 2 years, and then when you finally get ready to turn babyface, boom, Ricochet come back, and then that's the one you put the name on. While he Prince Puma, you can have Johnny Face on it. By this time, he shouldn't get down. And then he'd be ready to be main roster bound.
Yeah. Next up, we had a Rick Boog, Shinsuke Nakamura, Jeff Jarrett segment next. They were spelling their names. That's all that matters. Usos versus Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. This match was good. It ended when the Tribal Chief came in and hit a Superman punch on Seth Rollins. This is what I don't understand about DQ finishes. And I've heard other people point this out. Why not hit a Uso with the Superman punch?
They can pick up the win.
Yeah, that way they pick up the win. Why not drag a Uso out the ring and just start beating their ass so they get the win? it seems like they're telling a story of where Roman is starting to realize that his past is truly caught up to him, and he doesn't see a way out, so he's desperate.
Yeah, questioning and stuff like that. I really.
Yeah, so
It just tells you this week of wrestling and WWE side. It was kind of ass because both shows, Raw and SmackDown, ended the same way. Promising main event turns into a DQ finish.
right. SmackDown.
That just sums up the whole week of wrestling for WWE. You know, promising matches leads into a DQ finish. If it's a promising match and it's not on the pay-per-view, just expect it to end in a DQ. That's it.
Right. SmackDown for this week, giving it a 5. Solid show. Could have been way better.
I give it a 5 too. It is. But the whole week of wrestling, I will give the whole week of wrestling a 6. And
Yeah.
it was carried by AEW to me. AEW great ass job.
Did we grade AEW?
We didn't, but I would give AEW an 8.
I would say a 7. I say a 7.
This week of wrestling was sick. I don't even got a match for them.
Oh, I do, and you're going to be surprised. Breezing through AEW Rampage, Jon Moxley destroyed Ethan Page, and then Jon Moxley left, and we got a stare down with Bryan Danielson. So it looks like that program is going to happen. Can't fucking wait. The Jurassic Express answered the Ass Boys. One of the Roppongi Vice guys, Rocky Romero, he tested positive. So the tag team match we were supposed to get on Rampage actually turned out to be Nick Jackson versus Trent Beretta. This match was fucking fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. These two put on a fantastic match, and Trent Beretta got the win after he hit Code Zero. So loved it. We had a video on Thunder Rosa versus Mercedes Martinez. We then got the Handsome Devil Hook versus Serpentico. Have you seen? I think I showed you Taz's son.
Mm-hmm.
Hook.
Yeah.
Boy's a megastar. No, he was in the club getting a lap dance.
I mean, I don't see it yet. I don't see him as a megastar yet.
He's a megastar.
I don't see him there yet.
Bro, he's a megastar. That Washington DC crowd, because this Rampage was live. That AEW crowd, as soon as they knew Hook was coming up, we want Hook. We want Hook. Soon as Bro's music hit, bro, he walks all the way around the ring, bro. He's low key like a mini Brock. He gets into the ring, puts his head down. He doesn't even acknowledge his opponent. He completely destroys Serpentico. My match of the week, Salamander. The main event of AEW Rampage. Anna Jay versus Jade Cargill TBS Championship. Your girl looked good with the belt around her waist. And she went to put on, I think, her best match since she did the tag team match with Cody Rhodes and Shaq. This match was absolutely fantastic. It was an excellent main event. I heard a lot of chatter saying that this was probably going to be a horrible match. This match turned out fantastic. Anna Jay brought it show while she's up and coming, and Jade Cargill showing some prestige to that TBS championship. It was fantastic. That's it for the week of wrestling. Let's jump into the news.
Week of wrestling was god awful.
Not by AEW though.
Yeah, not on behalf of AEW. AEW really carried this week, so it was. That's why this week get a 6. It was really carried by AEW. But before we get into the news, you say your match of the night. Who's your wrestler of the week?
Jade Cargill.
Nice too. At least we on the same page on that one. Now, let's go ahead and jump into the news. So, I'm bringing y'all 5 stories today. And we're going to start off with the first story is WWE. They are bringing back more WCW pay-per-view names for NXT 2.0. Now, WWE, we already know they brought back WCW names such as War Games, the Great American Bash, Halloween Havoc, but now they are trying to bring back Super Brawl and Uncensored. AB, you want to share some thoughts on that?
Tell me one more time. AEW or WWE?
The WWE is bringing back WCW pay-per-view names for NXT. They are bringing back Super Brawl and Uncensored.
I think this is just another type of move to slight AEW. If I'm being completely honest, they do own WCW rights though, so I can understand that. But you guys, WWE hasn't wanted to embrace anything WCW. So now I find it funny that Tony Khan, a guy who is infamous with wanting to recreate stuff from not only WCW but also WWE, he wants to, step outside and do some stuff like that, and now you want to try to step in his way. I think with how NXT 2.0 is going, you said it earlier, you need to be in your own lane, identifying what people want to see from your show's standpoint on NXT 2.0, which I don't think is too hard because from what I'm hearing, the average audience of 2.0 age is, I think, like 60. So shouldn't you be trying to get shit from like the 80s or the early 90s? Like I thought that when Triple H was running it, the In Your House, that was fantastic. Yeah. Nice little throwback on the 90s. You gave it a 90s feel and it was fantastic.
Super Brawl was kind of like 80ish too, because that was like kind of like they WCW like WrestleMania, I believe. Like,
no, I thought that was Starrcade.
Starrcade, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, but they brought back Starrcade too, but like a house show, like a big ass house show they did. But moving on to the second story, we got Bruce Pritchard. He says Mr. McMahon shows no signs of slowing down. Oh boy. Vince McMahon, he's 76 years old, and Bruce Pritchard, he said that he felt like Vince would continue running WWE for the next 25 to 30 years. He said he shows no signs of slowing down. Vince McMahon's mother is 101 years old, right?
I did not know that. She's
still living to this day. So there's a high chance that Vince McMahon could be 100 years old still booking WWE.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. I said this earlier when we did our 1K special. He needs less yes men.
That, and he needs to get up to date with today's time.
Right.
You need to understand that today's wrestling is not tomorrow's wrestling. That's it. Wrestling evolves every day. That's all I'm gonna say about it. It's just if he's gonna run it for that long, I would just say just really, really, really just try to stay up to date.
Here's what I will say, and I know we often disagree on Dave Meltzer, but I find it funny that their last 5-star match was John Cena, CM Punk in Money in the Bank 2011 when he walked out with the belt.
That was the last. After that, Vince McMahon pissed him off. That's why.
No. Well, I don't know. I'm not gonna say nothing about that because I don't know. But I will say this: Triple H's NXT was pumping out 5 stars with Adam Cole, Gargano, Andrade.
Because then Vince McMahon had nothing to do with NXT. He ain't giving them 5 stars now. NXT 2.0.
Because they're not good. They're not good.
That's why I don't know. That's just
Triple H evolved with the times. He went more indie with that WWE flavor.
He did, but
Vince isn't doing that. It's all WWE flavor.
He did, but Dave Meltzer, I just think that's one man's opinion. Don't nothing make him valid. Just like the people that be watching on the media on ESPN, none of that. It's just their opinions. They don't nothing make them valid. So
but one man's opinion is highly respected.
It's respected, but is it right?
If you agree with it, and most of the time I do agree with Dave Meltzer.
I don't know.
It's all preference.
Right.
It's all preference. It's what you believe. like you believe Randy Orton's the best. I believe Kenny's the best, and that's what it is.
I believe Randy Orton got multiple 5-star matches.
He has no 5-star matches.
Yeah, but who makes this valid? Everybody interprets wrestling a different way. Everybody who see wrestling, some people may like more of a technical style wrestling, and they may give them matches 5-star. People may like more of a storyline telling in wrestling. They get that 5 stars. Some people may just like just a professional in the wrestling and get that 5 stars. But what makes these people valid? These 5-star ratings is not official.
I'll say this, and I'll leave it there. I find it funny that the greatest professional in the world by many, Daniel Bryan, was not getting these type of matches. He then goes to AEW and proceeds to put on, 3 in an 8-month span?
Because Dave Meltzer, he felt some type of way against Vince McMahon. That's why he don't give them 5-star matches.
He was giving Triple H's NXT 5 stars. It's all under the WWE banner.
To do with that. If Vince McMahon was ahead of the book in the NXT, he wouldn't give that shit.
You see what the booking is like now in NXT 2.0.
He ain't giving that Vince 5 stars.
That's not true.
He ain't giving that 5 stars.
I've already told you, NXT has pumped out 3 Match of the Year candidates with Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon at the helm. They're pumping them out.
Dave Meltzer get them 5 stars.
I can look and get back to you.
I guarantee he didn't. And the only reason why he giving Bryan Danielson is that because he's not with WWE anymore. So he's went to NXT. I'm not NXT. He went to AEW. So now he's gonna get spit out all these 5 stars.
Is it that, or was Bryan Danielson cosplaying a professional wrestler?
Even he was doing that, his matches in WWE was still great. It was still 5-star worthy.
Listen,
I'm gonna give him that. It's not valid. Just like Stephen A. Like, yes, his opinion is respected, but it don't make it valid. Skip Bayless, his opinion is respected, but it don't make it valid. It's just your opinion. Everybody interprets wrestling in a different way. It's just their opinion. It don't make it valid. You may be doing this for years and stuff. That just make over time your word get respected. But name how many times Stephen A said some shit that was off the wall. People be like, "Oh shit, hell no, da 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 da." But just the fact that his word is respected, so it will come. Of course, like when he says some shit, it's gonna get that attraction because it's respected. He been doing it for so long. Dave Meltzer been doing this for so long, so his opinion is respected. If people just take that, it's just think, all right, since he said it, this is what it is. That's not the case. WWE been had more 5-star matches before. I mean, even after 2015, after 2013, when that last match happened. It's just he's biased.
You're biased. Everybody's biased. Everybody's biased. That's not an argument. What's next in the news?
All right, this is the third story. We got potential spoilers on the surprises for men's Royal Rumble match this Saturday. So it's been noted that WWE is flying in Ron Breaker and Gunther, formerly known as Walter, to St. Louis for the pay-per-view. Now, there's a high chance that they two might make their debuts on the Royal Rumble. But here's the Royal Rumble card as of right now. Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. Becky Lynch versus Doudrop. But as of right now, we also got the mixed tag team match. Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Miz and Maurice, which I guarantee is going to be on the kickoff show, or it's going to be first up. Depends what they do. And then we got the men's Royal Rumble, who announced so far is Angelo Dawkins, Montez Ford, Ray and Dominique Mysterio, Austin Theory, Johnny Knoxville, Sheamus, Damian Priest, AJ Styles, Big E, Happy Corbin, Madcap Moss, Sami Zayn, Kofi Kingston, and Kevin Owens. So far on the women's who been announced is Rhea Ripley, Nikki Ash, Dana Brooke, Carmella, Queen, Zelina, Tamina, Sakshi, Natalya, Aaliyah, Naomi, Shayna Baszler, so we'll finally see her ass then. Charlotte Flair, Nikki Bella, Brie Bella, Lita, Michelle McCool, Kelly, Summer Rae, Mickie James, Bianca Belair, and Liv Morgan. Now I really wish they announced all of the legends coming back. Like we already knew about Lita because she came, but I would have wished that they would have held Nikki and Brie Bella. They really just announced like that they would love to participate and come back. And they keep saying that they want to go for that tag team title, but I would have loved for them to keep them under wraps. Michelle McCool, Kelly, and Summer Rae under wraps. They just had them pop up. But they already announced it. I mean, you already got a big pop and big anticipation for it because we already know you don't have a dominant 30 women to participate in this match. So we already know a lot of people. It's gonna be a lot of legends or whatever. And then you already announced Lita, so that's already bringing hype. Then Mickie James, we know she with Impact and she coming back for this, so this kind of brings the hype in. And then it's just building up. No legends gonna come, so then just keep us guessing like who do we think is gonna show up instead of announcing it. So I kind of think they kind of fucked up the thing about the Royal Rumble is a surprise. You don't know who's gonna come at what number or who's gonna make a debut or who's gonna return or who is it's just coming. That's the whole point of the Royal Rumble. What brings up the excitement. So I kind of think they kind of fucked up the excitement by announcing so many legends coming back already.
Yes. A lot to unpack there. Everything about the legends you said, I agree with. Royal Rumble, it is all about surprises.
Not to cut you off, but it is saying that Undertaker will be in St. Louis too for the Royal Rumble. Not sure if he will participate in some type of way, but I'm pretty sure he's there because Michelle McCool is there. So he's probably just going to be there just for emotional support. But is it a chance that he could pop up in the Royal Rumble just for a one-off?
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think he has that much to really give. I think everything that he does is just going to be emotional support for his wife if they want her to do anything or if they need him for the 2K video games going forward. I think that's all we're going to get from The Undertaker. And I wouldn't want to go in there and kind of soil what The Undertaker character is. Because, his final run wasn't the best. I mean, he still looked good. He had some decent matches in there, but it wasn't the Taker that we knew. And there are some times where you do just have to walk away fully from in-ring competition. And I think the last time he wrestles needs to be the last time. What was the last Taker match?
But AJ Styles. No, that was his last match. The Boneyard match that they had. That was the last match. He disappeared after that. What if he enters in the Royal Rumble because AJ Styles is there, and it's like a thing like the thing happened, and then it go boom, and then the lights cut off, and he come back on. He's in the ring already. And he eliminate AJ just to show him like AJ, I'm still gonna be here type shit.
Nah, I don't want to see that.
Touché. All right, so for the last story, we got two stories, but we're going to wrap them in one because it all follows under 3 stars in AEW who could be possibly leaving the company soon. All right, we got Marco Stunt, whose contract is coming in the end, and he hasn't been on TV in a few months. And then we also got Peter Avalon, whose deal already expired. And then to lead it all off, who also been the talk of the town right now is Leo Rush. His contract actually expires on Valentine's Day. So, where do you think these 3 people will lie at? You think it's a possibility they could be signed? Do you think they're walking away? If so, who do you think they're signing to?
I'll start with Marco Stunt. Marco Stunt is trying to, from what I've seen, he hasn't been on the show in quite a long time. I think he's more so focused on his singing. So I think he might do some indie dates here and there, but I think he's more focused on singing, trying to get up on, I believe he's trying to get on The Voice. So I'm happy for him, and I hope that comes true because he can play the guitar really well. He seems like he could be a good artist. So
AEW version of Elias.
No, not even close.
You could just sing better.
No, I mean
he just can't sing.
I mean, he was with the Jurassic Express, more like their kind of like their manager / just person who hangs with them. And if they did 6-man tags, he would be there with them. So he was nothing like Elias, but I think he needs to focus on that. He is kind of small, but the new wave is small people who can wrestle. I think I like how they were using when he would go against the bigger guys like Lance Archer, just to really put over and bump hard for Lance Archer, just to put over Lance Archer. But he really needs to just focus on that singing career, because I do believe he can take off with it. Pretty Peter Avalon, he's been the talk of the town on the indies. I do follow Championship from Memphis Wrestling. I tune into them sometime, and he's actually been on there. And they're starting to bring in big names like Nyla Rose and a couple different other people from AEW. So they're on the rise. Look out for them. I would honestly like to see Pretty Peter in Impact. I think he can make a huge impact in their X division. I can see him as either a 1 or 2 times X division champion. I don't see him being the guy who takes the option C route, unless you just needed a title match for that pay-per-view. But Impact isn't in that department where they're like, well, we just need a title match, and Peter Avalon does have the X division title. Let's just have him do plan C. They're not going to make a match just to have a match. So, but I would love to see Pretty Peter Avalon in Impact. I think, like I said, I think he can make a great impact in that X division. And Leo Rush. This one is tough, because during the Big Swole thing about diversity, he called out Tony Khan after Tony Khan went public and talked about the reason he didn't extend Big Swole's contract is because her wrestling ability didn't improve. And he demanded that TK apologize. It all should have been handled internally. Leo Rush shouldn't have called out Tony Khan. Tony Khan should have never said that to Leo Rush should have never called out Tony Khan to apologize on Twitter publicly. Tony Khan should have never said that about Big Swole publicly. What you could have done is handled it all internally. Leo Rush could have pulled Tony Khan to the side and said, hey, I don't appreciate what you said. And just talk to him, get his side. Also, you don't get in other people's business either. That business had nothing to do with you. So you put your own foot in your mouth. And that's why the contract is coming to an end. In WWE, if he would have checked Vince McMahon like that, he would have been handed his walking papers same day. So the fact that Tony Khan is letting the contract run out, I give him tremendous respect for that, because he's not firing. He's just letting contracts expire.
Yeah, because he haven't been seen on Dynamite Rampage or any other shows in the last couple of weeks. And he currently had a storyline with Dante Martin, but it seems like it's been dropped now. So, yeah. And then, like you said, he did lash out and demand an apology from the final situation with Big Swole. And then he also said that later he said later that things has moved over. But it's unclear if it has something to do with this or his exit. But I mean, Leo Rush, he still got another deal with New Japan too, so he could possibly go there. But I can also see, because you said a while ago that everybody's not made, but it's like once you touch that TV spotlight, it's hard to get out of it. So I can see, since he got the TV deal with New Japan, I could either see him going over there and just continue his career over there, or I could actually see him coming, doing there until his stuff expired, then coming back to the States, but settling for Impact.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I can see him in Impact as well. But my thing is, Leo Rush has put his foot in his mouth so many times. And I get it, standing up for what you believe in. But my parents always taught me there's a time and a place for everything. And when that time and place permits itself, then you do it. You didn't have to call out Tony Khan just because Tony Khan called out Big Swole. And I get it, standing up for your black sister. I get it. Because what Tony Khan said, it's not what an owner of a company should ever say. You know, you guys just agree to depart ways amicably, and that's it. You leave it there. Let her say what she wants to say. If she thinks that AEW isn't diverse enough, then let her have that opinion. I don't think too many people really think that. And Big Swole's talking about Big Swole's talking about just the lack of African American main event talent. And I get it. I want to see us represented in the main event. But like I said before, not every company can have a Bobby Lashley. Not every company can have a Big E. Not every company can have a Kofi Kingston, a Rock, Roman Reigns. You know, AEW doesn't have that. And the African American wrestlers that they do show, they give them time when it's their time. Like you referenced earlier when John Cena said, sometimes you got to wait your turn. You honestly have to wait your turn. What I'm not in the league of is pushing an African American talent to the main event just because they're African American. That's not right. It's not right. It should never be right. If they are getting over with the fans and they have the wrestling capabilities to be in the main event, then put them there. But Salamander, I've also said this. On the AEW roster, name me a black or an African-American superstar that's the caliber of an Adam Cole, Kenny Omega, Hangman Adam Page, Cody Rhodes, Jon Moxley, Bryan Danielson, MJF, CM Punk, Wardlow. You got Ricky Starks, and he's on his way. You got Hook, and he's on his way. I would argue that Hook is more over than some of the people who are majorly over in AEW. But it's not their time. When it's their time, then it will be their time. That's why I believe they're going to bring in a Keith Lee. And if I'm Tony Khan, I'm going out and I'm signing Shane Taylor from Ring of Honor. Bring them in. Bring in his promotion. You got to wait till we get there. AEW is only 3 years old. Everybody has a season. There's a time and a place for everything.
And you heard it here first on the DMB podcast, guys. Now, before we head out, let's go ahead and shout out a couple things. Let's go ahead and shout out our Spotify account. We on Spotify, we on Amazon Music, we on Apple Music, we on Google Podcasts. Anywhere you get your podcast from, you can get the DMB podcast. We got some good and upcoming things coming on YouTube, so go ahead and check us out there if you're not there. We're going to get a Patreon popping up here soon, so y'all guys go ahead and check us out on there once we get popping up there. There's a big, we on to big and better things. It's 2022, we about to capitalize off of all this shit. You fuck with wrestling is your shit. Why go anywhere else to get your wrestling news or anything regarding wrestling when you can catch it here on the DB podcast? Not even the DB podcast, it's WBPTV wrestling, period. We cover everything, every promotion, everything regarding the wrestling. You know why? Because simply, you some fucking marks.
I started with nothing and came out a king. I've been the one that's been ballin' for rings. It's been me and my team and we chasing the green. My team be the shit, we ain't ballin' for free. My team be the shit, we ain't ballin' for free.